Everybody, welcome back. Doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. In this one, we're going to do a recap of sort of what's happened in the last 24 hours. Put out a recent video that had some Korean text in it, some Korean voice in it. Really attempting to try to see if we can get anything going here. So we'll talk about that. Dev Note 14. And did we get that? I don't know. Let's check out what we got here. And let me know what your thoughts and suggestions are. Sort of a state of the game, state of what to do type situation. So let's get to it.
Bring me WolverThor!
All right, so Dev Note 14, I've got it right here. You see it. I got this sent to me this morning. I was like, maybe the video did something. Oh my gosh, Dev Note 14 is here. Check it out. But then, all right, let's bring this up. All right then, so obviously, humor, ha ha ha. I will come back to that stuff. Obviously, nothing there. As far as what I've heard, so the video I put out, let me, I'll show it on screen here a little bit. So yeah, you can see it right there above me. So this was I sort of talked with Dragon's Blood. I had a bunch of Korean text on there and the titles in Korean. And the goal of this video is just sort of like try to make some sort of connection with Netmarble in Korea. We've obviously not been hearing from them. The Discord mods and CMs and GMs they're not necessarily, as far as I understand at least, directly they're not direct employees or developers. So I'm trying to find a way to actually get all of this stuff sort of figured out, talk to them, and I thought, you know what, maybe if I can do this might grab some attention. So I've heard a lot in, I've ever since all this started happening and things got quiet and just, once I was hearing that the CCC program was not confirmed for season 3 and that, they were shutting down and deleting the channels for season 2, I was sort of like, okay, this is just weird. This is different. It feels odd, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff from people who play Future Fight. Oh yeah, they go through cycles like this, but this for some reason feels different to me. Future Fight had theirs about a week late, and I'm not necessarily as interested in saying, well, what's up with the anniversary? Like that matters to me, but I'm just seeing all these things that kind of lead to one conclusion, and to me, I think it starts with two things is the biggest, and I've mentioned this in each one of the videos, is where there were no ads for Wolverine and their financial statements. Those two things are the biggest concerns for me. And then you start swinging in things like they closed their CCC. Well, they didn't, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to use that term. The CCC program. Okay, well, that's probably for financial reasons. I get it. Now, I don't know who they had employed just to run the CCC program. I know there were some certain people we interacted with, but I assume that person had probably another job or worked on multiple things, because, we didn't interact that much, and it wasn't like, as far as I was aware, there was that much effort to run that program. And then, obviously the anniversary thing that was mentioned didn't come. The August update, to their credit, is fantastic with Wolverine and the things you got. The durations of all the things in that are longer than I think we've ever had anything in game. It's 30 and 70 days, which to me tells me that there's not going to be much happening in the next 30 to 70 days. I'm sort of expecting a companion this week based on their normal rotation, but we did just get 2 special ones, so maybe not. So anyway, these are the things that are all sort of pointing me to stuff like this. And that's where I'm kind of like, okay, now a lot of people have asked me, like, I can't read Korean. What does it say? So I'll share that with you now. The title was, is Netmarble not paying attention to its users or players? So I did that. And by the way, this part of the video is where I was saying the first anniversary is coming, and as well, and it's like, please look forward to this, which is part of the other things that I get to, and what's in Korean here. And I took it off the screen at this point so people could see the screen a little easier. But there were 3 voices at the beginning of that were all in Korean that were later at the end, which sort of ties to some of these other points that I'm going to make here in a second as well. But there was the Korean text in there. And again, I'm just wanting to try to get their attention. And I don't know the best way to do that necessarily. I played other games in the past. I know sometimes people bring up, hey, we've got to do this or we've got to do that to get their attention. I don't know what the secret formula is. I don't know if anybody does. We can all speculate. We can all do different things. I know that if this company is having financial problems, I'm not necessarily, I want the game to survive. So I'm going to be very cautious about something that could quickly make the game die quicker. My goal is there a social or communication method that can be used to sort of like bump this along? Because, and I'm going to say this over and over and over, is the foundation of this game is really good. There is clear, I mean, they won design awards for a reason. That the game looks really good. They have a Marble IP associated, which is going to naturally draw people in. It's an MMO, which is naturally going to draw people in. There are certainly game things that need to be done that I just think if they focused on, as far as, I think their offers need to be a little bit more realistic as far as what they give you. They have to have the expensive $100 offers, the $45 offers, the 27, the 15s, the 5s, the $5. All of those offers need to have a decent value in each one of them, so that way that whatever person that they're talking to or wanting to buy that offer feels good about buying it. And the whales might buy them all, and they're going to be ahead of everybody, and that's fine. And so you don't get a 1 million player facing a 3.5 million player if the population's not there. A litter dimension duel with different bots that people can face against, and it's fine. Maybe every once in a while they get that 4 million person across from them in a mega war. If a 4 million person goes into a mega war against another 4 million person and one of them drops, then have the bot go in there and just auto, let the bot stay, or even if they DC, it's like, okay. So anyway, so the rest of this text on here, I asked the question, is this anything that's happening? Like, is this a consumer law issue in Korea? And that is tied to like promises made that weren't followed up on, because, in the dev note that said there was, one could be led to believe that. And I want to ask people questions, because people keep saying that to me, is they made promises that they didn't follow up on. I was like, okay, well, why do you feel that way? And they kept going to stuff like that. And so I want to ask the question, like, is that something that is really the case? Like, is that something that people feel? They brought up false advertisement at dev note. So it's like false promises, false advertising. So that was one of the things I said is, the text here is, did they have false advertising with dev note 12 showing a 1-year anniversary coming, but nothing appears to have officially come? People probably bought offers invested with those expectations. And I actually know that I did do that. Personally, I did do that. So that's up there. And then there must be laws for mobile companies that they have to follow. I wonder if people ever file complaints in court over this sort of thing. So it's definitely sort of like a pointed like question asking. All of these sort of questions I've been asked from somebody in game or in my alliance or just on a YouTube comment or whatever. And it's kind of like, okay, I have to ask the questions. I can't not ask these questions because part of me is, I want the game to survive. And at the same time, like my job as a content creator is not just to do a build video, but it's like, if I see a concern or a bunch of people bring a concern and if it really ties to my heart with something, then I'm going to do a video on it. So that's sort of why I'm here, why I'm doing this, to think. So all of this is an attempt to try to get Netmarble's attention, to ask these questions, not just in English, but in Korean, in hopes that they can understand. And I hope they don't take this the wrong way. This is just the questions being presented to me, being asked by others, and I think rightfully so. And so I wanted to put these in here so that there was no confusion about what I was asking. The text doesn't change through the whole video, but those are the general, it's like high level topics that we were talking about in there. If you want to, I wish I could transcribe this in Korean and have it closed caption. Doing something like that, I just don't, I don't have the ability or time necessarily to do that. So anyway, so at this point, I'm wondering what else can be done. I don't know. It looks like, oh, okay. Got a bunch of up, and this is some of the comments in here. I love seeing these. Let's see, is there some of these I replied to the other day. I'm curious. Let's see. So timeline they talked about with Admiral Jansen, where they talked about, this was a good point that, some of this stuff maybe came out and they were thinking they were gonna do something and then they decided not to after their earnings call. But my counter to that would be that's fine, but they still, you present something and then, you don't do it. Well, you've made people buy things. So I don't know. And again, I don't understand how that all works, but it just felt like it was kind of like, all right, well, people still bought based on what you said. So it shakes, this to me is probably the biggest thing from Master Pink. It shakes consumer confidence. That's a great point. It's just like, and they say there was a 200 squad level perk pack, but this person's held off because they want this to all get figured out. I have so many people in my alliance and that I know experiencing similar. So it's kind of like, all right, bought deals and prepper for the anniversary. Also to the people saying, why would you hoard for an event you didn't know about? Well, if you were here for Black Friday, you would know there was a huge benefit to already having tickets and crystals saved up. The drop rates were insane and the extra things you got were wonderful, but the cost of crystals and tickets was basically the same. So you kind of get more stuff. And I would agree with that. Shout out to Callista. But that general idea is, exactly kind of what I get. And so there's a lot of different comments in here. The best way to get some attention from them is to stop playing, stop spending. Now that's the part where I get a little worried about, frankly, because if the game is and company are really in that bad of a financial shape, and they've got games like Ni no Kuni doing well, which is that sort of like cryptocurrency thing, which frankly, in my opinion, from what I understand about it, is not gaming. I'd rather have a game like this, going than a game like that. So if anybody has several hundreds of millions of dollars out there and wants to help me fundraise for buying a game and starting a gaming company, please hit me up. I'm down for it, and the goal is to, actually make a game that's, good for players, that wants to be good, long lasting, obviously with a plan for profit, but it's not going to be about quarterly earnings. It's just going to be like how much money we'd make this month. All right, we made 100K. All right, our profit sharing for this month is small. All right, well, what about next month? Oh, we made $1 million. Okay, it's better. Yay. But we get base salaries, and it's just after that, it's just like, let's just make sure we're making money, but also have enough in reserve. So if we have a down month or two, that it's not a big deal either. So anyway, that's side jobs. So yeah, if you know somebody with several hundreds of millions of dollars, you want to let me know, that'd be great. So anyway, I'm not gonna go through every comment on here, but my hope is that this is gonna get some attraction. Let me know what you guys think can be done next. I'm still learning about Korean gaming culture, Korean gaming companies, just anything to do that could maybe get some attention without actually making Netmarble or the game go away. Netmarble, in my opinion, if the game doesn't make money, Netmarble is just gonna scratch it. That's what I think. Now, I don't know how long they've got, if the IP for the Marvel with them is month to month. I don't know. I don't know if it's a general deal that they have for all their games or whatever games they have. Like they got Contest of Champion, they have Realm of Champ. I think they did Realm of Champions. Maybe not. And then they have this game if it's an exclusive contract for each. But originally I thought the game would be out for 5 some years. So, we're just past a year. So I'm really wanting anybody's suggestions. So please come to the Discord. It's linked in the description below. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're in Korea, if you speak Korean, please, get in touch with me. I'd love to know good ways to understand how to do these things with these guys. I think that, it's something that is very important, and I'd love for the game to survive. I'd like for Netmarble to see that there is a way to make this successful. There is a big player base that could be into this. There is a decent sized one now. It's not huge. It could be much bigger. And I've seen other games that have struggled at first that have thrived some if done properly. So that's my hope. I'm going to throw videos out like this out there a bit in hopes that we can get these things going. So appreciate you making this far. Hammer down like buttons, notification bell, subscribe, all that sort of thing. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.